Hey everybody, it's Christina of CraftyPaws. I wanted to come out and share with you guys this very pretty, I think romantic card that I've made. It's a card that I made basically to try my hand at making these beautiful roses, super dimensional paper roses. And I had taken a class at the Scrapbook Expo last week on how to make these from Heartfelt Creations. But I knew that when I got home, I would have some awesome diamond dies to play with to try and recreate these roses for a much, much lower price. And when I got home, I looked through my stash and found this Sugar Plums flower die set. It actually has 7 dies in it. I ended up using all of them except for the teeny tiny one. And I'm gonna attach a process video on how to make these beautiful roses. Even the smaller one, it's just a matter of adding fewer of the larger dies, die cut flowers to make the flower a little bit smaller or make a little bud. I also use the Nature's Flourish die. It's this one here. And I use that and cut a couple of them apart and tuck them in behind the roses to add some kind of natural, trendles. And then for the edges here, I actually used a memory box die that I had in my stash. This is the chrysanthemum corner. And I just tucked a couple of them in the corners just to add a little more oomph to the card base, which was actually from one of those hot buys at Michael's. They had this set, the Uptown Chic set that has the cute little pug. There's 60 cards in this set, and I think they're super cute. And it was only $5 for the whole set, the kit and caboodle. So I used from that set this card base, very simple. And I wanted to add just a little bit more oomph, like I said, to the corners. So I used that memory box die. Oh, and I also used the medley of leaves die from Diemond Dies. I used the second and third smallest leaves. And I tucked a couple of them here and here just to add a little more background foliage to these roses. And I'm going to attach the process video here. I hope you enjoy it and I hope it's helpful to you. So I'm using a Heidi Swap background stamp. I don't know that it has a name, but it's got some beautiful script on it, and I thought it would make a pretty background for the paper flowers that I wanted to make. And I'm just putting it on my stamping tool, and I'm using some VersaFine ink on Georgia Pacific premium cardstock. It's the same cardstock that I use for most of my stamping and Copic coloring. It's pretty inexpensive at Walmart. It's probably like $6 or $7 for a big package. And here you just see me moving the paper down lower so that I can stamp it again so that I have enough paper to make all the flower die cuts that I want. And I'm just gonna stamp one more time so that I come out with a big sheet of cardstock that's fully stamped. Now I'm taking the Sugar Plum flower die set and I'm laying them all out in a row. I'm not using the tiniest flower, but you see I'm using pretty much all of the others in the die set. I'm running it through my die cutting machine and you'll see that they pop out really easily. And now each of the layers of the flower will have some beautiful text kind of just stamped randomly throughout. I'm not going to show you me die cutting all of the flower layers, but I just wanted to give you a sample. Now I'm going to take my distress inks. As you can see there, I've die cut a whole bunch of those flowers out, and I'm taking worn lipstick and spun sugar, and I'm going to color with a finger dauber. I love these little finger daubers to get into like the nooks and crannies of places rather than a blending tool, and I think it picks up and moves the color really well. So for the 2 smallest flowers, I've turned them over and I've done a full coating of that worn lipstick. Now I'm taking the other layers of flowers and I'm going to go from the center out and just quickly color each of the layers of die cut flowers. And I'm intentionally leaving the edges undone, so it's kind of ombre effect, darkest in the center of each flower, and then kind of a wisp out toward the outside edges of each petal. And you can see that I've sped this up, but it goes really fast. Now I'm taking the same ink and I'm doing the edges of each of the petals, and I think that that really adds a crispness to the roses. Each layer having that crisp edge of ink on the edges of each of the petals. And it does take a little bit more time to do this, but I've done some flowers, and you'll see because this process video is actually a composite of 4 different flowers that I ended up doing. You'll see that there are different color combinations, and some that I didn't do that edging with and some that I did. Here I'm just adding some spun sugar just to add a little bit of softness. Now I'm taking my embossing tool. This is a Spellbinders tool-in-one, and I'm using the small round side, and I'm just pinching the edges of all of those petals. Then I'm taking the larger ball and I'm rolling it, as you can see there, and it really helps bring all of the petals, you know, in a round formation. And I'm just taking some wet glue. This is art glitter glue with a fine nozzle tip that I'm using, and I'm adding that glue all around each petal and then kind of pinching all the petals together to create a little bud. I'm going to do the same exact thing with the next smallest flower, and I'm adding a dab of glue to the center, and then again I'm going to add glue to the outside of these petals so that I can pinch them all together and create the second layer of my rose. The inside of the rose are pretty much like buds, and if I stopped right there, that would be a little tiny rosebud. Now I'm going to spritz some water. I'm about 10 inches away from the flower, and I'm flipping it on the back side, and I'm spraying. I actually realized I shouldn't be spraying over my little mouse pad, so I take that away from my desk, and I spray about 10 inches away with just plain water. Now I'm doing the same thing that I had done before. I'm using the small embossing tool and just touching the edges of those petals so that it has a kind of a ruffled edge to those petal tips. And now I'm flipping them over, and I'm using the big ball to kind of emboss the center of the flower after flipping them over. So I'm doing it one more time. You can see there, I'm using the big ball on the back side of the main part of the petals, and then I'm flipping the flower over and doing the middle so that it's kind of a rounded effect. And you can see me gluing the different layers together, and I'm offsetting the petals so that they don't line up straight, so that they're all offset each layer. And now I'm doing the last little section, which is adding that center little bud. And that's the completed molded flower. Now you see that I've taken a different flower and I'm adding some art glitter glue with that fine nozzle tip, and I'm just really quickly adding glue all along each of the petals, really kind of loose and pretty light. I'm not trying to do gobs of glue. I'm trying to do little strips of flicks of glue almost. And now I'm going to get some extra fine glitter, and I'm sprinkling that over top of the rose. And you can see that I've got a coffee filter underneath to catch my excess. And then I'm taking another coffee filter and I'm reapplying more of this art glitter glue, because the first layer that was there is coated with glitter now, remember. And I'm adding a second layer of art glitter glue because I'm going to add the magic. This is Flora Craft Diamond Dust that you can pick up at Michael's or buy it online. And it's actually cut glass, so you have to be kind of careful. You could actually really cut your fingers, but I love the sparkle that this adds to these roses. Isn't that beautiful? If you're interested in any of the dyes that I've used in creating these beautiful flowers and the flourishes and leaves behind them, please check out Diemond Dyes. And if you're going to make a purchase, please consider using the coupon code Thanks Christina, all lowercase, all one word, and you'll get 10% off your entire order plus free worldwide shipping if your order is $35 or more. She has beautiful dyes, and I have a whole new respect and appreciation for all of these gorgeous flower dyes. She has lots to choose from, so go check them out. If you enjoyed this process video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a wonderful crafty day.